Joining us right now is Jim Fish. He's the CEO of Waste Management.
Beautiful
and Jim,
chart.
Great to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you.
In terms of the earnings, not only did you beat expectations for earnings and revenue, those numbers, both revenue and profit, were up year over year. So what's that telling you? What are you seeing right now in the end markets?
I think it tells us that the economy is pretty strong. We're usually considered a lagging indicator, but we do have some components of our business that are leading indicators, and so those are performing well. There's a lot of opinions on where the economy is going, but we seem to be seeing some strength.
Which parts of your business are leading indicators? Would it be cardboard boxes or things that you're seeing from shipments and businesses, or what?
That might be a piece of it, but if I think about construction demolition material, that certainly is a leading indicator. Commercial is a good proxy for small business, and when we see them adding to the size of their container, that means they're showing some confidence in their own businesses, which I think is a good indicator of the future of the economy, and then special waste as well.
How would you gauge where all of those leading economic indicators in terms of your business are versus where we were, let's say, 6 months ago when people thought we were really headed into a dire situation?
They are pretty close to where we were. Our special waste volume, for example, has been up double digits for the last few quarters. Our construction demolition volume has been up double digits. So we haven't seen any weakness in either of those two, which are the strongest leading indicators that we have, and they seem to be strong just as they were a year ago.
Jim, when I think of you, I think of Waste Management not only as a good economic indicator of what's happening, but also trade talks with China. There's a bit of that plays into your business, too, especially with recycling. What's happening? Can you get us up to speed on that?
Well, 2 years ago, China was our biggest customer. They bought 30% of the recyclables out of our plants. Today, they're buying 2%, so we've had to find other homes for those. Most of it is here in the U.S., some in other Southeast Asian countries. So we really have not, haven't thought much about China of late, other than the fact that there's this microeconomic problem that they've driven the price down, and so recyclables and the price that we get for them are at 25-year lows.
Is the China situation, is that directly because of the trade and tariffs, or was it a situation that was building up before that?
Yeah, I don't think it's really related to tariffs. I mean, China imports this material and they want it to be clean, and I understand their position. They want it to be clean material. They don't want to have to clean it up when they get it, and a lot of it was not. And so they've put these quality controls out there.
Is that just because Americans are really bad at recycling? We don't clean things out before we try and recycle it?
Well, a little bit of it might be that. I mean, I think the more we recycle and the less we understand about what goes in the recycle bin, the more we just default to the recycle bin, and in some cases that ends up contaminating the cardboard.
So you think you're doing a good thing by erring on the side of recycling when you're not sure, but what you're really doing is contaminating the entire batch of all the other stuff.
That's right. So we've put some fees in place which have helped mitigate the downturn.
And when in doubt, throw it out should be the lesson for people. Your operating EBITDA for the recycling line of business actually was up by $6 million, even though revenue was down. So what are you guys doing differently?
Well, I think that's those fees that I'm talking about. I mean, revenue was down significantly. It was down $38 million for the quarter, and yet operating EBITDA was up $6 million, and so we're passing some of this through. It still is a tough, recycling is a tough picture right now. The good news is that the solid waste business is more than overcoming that.
One of the things that I also was really interested in reading through some of this is you've got a new training facility in Fort Myers that you're testing things out, just in terms of what kind of training you can do for people, how that extends their career, how it makes them stick around with waste management longer. What is it? What are you learning?
Well, so the new one is actually in Glendale, Arizona. The Fort Myers is the first one. And the reason we've put these training facilities up, as opposed to just training them in the field, is that what we find is when they go through the training facility, they're half as likely to leave. And of course, truck drivers are a pretty highly coveted position. There's something like 1 million open truck driver jobs out there right now. So the fact that they go through this very structured training at these state-of-the-art facilities causes them to not leave, and that's a good thing for us.
The training facilities, you're doing that because it's such a tight labor market? We're going to get the jobs report next Friday, too.
Some of it's that. Some of it is that, we make sure that they're fully trained on safety. We do that anyway, but it's a very structured training when they go through a training facility that's solely dedicated to that.
Why do you think it's so hard to find drivers?
I don't know. You hear that millennials don't want to drive trucks. I mean, you hear a bunch of things. You hear that they don't want to operate heavy equipment. We're putting up a remote operations center in Denver, Colorado, where we actually remotely operate a piece of heavy equipment from off-site, and that seems to be pretty attractive to the younger generation, we have a couple of 25-year-olds that really enjoy it. It's like playing Fortnite, basically.
For the full year, you are on track to hit the guidance that you've given the street.
We are. Yeah.
Jim, I want to thank you for being here. It's always good to see you.
You bet. Good to see you. Thanks.
Jim Fish.